Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Eden Zero Chapter 66. And, ooh boy, yeah, this was definitely a chapter. Alright, so the chapter effectively concludes the battle with Kurenai and the battle with Kurenai, and obviously the biggest question of this chapter is what the hell happened to Shiki? I mean, it was pretty obvious what happened. But it was pretty obvious. I guess on the surface of things, what happened. He basically by pretty much absorbing the pretty much kinetic energy of the missile, Shiki's ether gear just kind of evolved. But what it's evolved into is a much bigger question mark. And if I had to take an educated stab, though, I think I think what's happened here is that in basically that moment of using his power on the missile and at the same time like pretty much crushing on like pretty much crushing like on the same time crushing like Kurenai's like mech suit under the weight of it all. I think I think in the very moment of him of him absorbing all the kinetic energy of the missile and applying it to his ether gear, I think he unlocked like the true potential and power of his gravity ether gear, which and pretty much by doing that, I think what also happened is that we've what is that as we see his basically the pretty much form he the pretty much form he takes whenever he activates the ether gear, it changed drastically. Like he looked like he had like some freaking like devil horns and whatnot, and so I think what we pretty much got a glimpse of in that moment is that we got a glimpse of the kind of power that pretty much that essentially made like, pretty much Shiki's grandfather Ziggy such a feared individual as the Demon King. Like I think the power that pretty much Shiki unlocked was like the pretty much pure essence was like the pretty much true power of basically Ziggy's ether gear. Like it's the power that made Ziggy like that gave the Ziggy the title of like Demon King and whatnot. So yeah, I think. So yeah, that in itself is pretty exciting. Like that Shiki has basically unlocked the power, the exact same power that probably potentially potentially made that potentially made his grandfather pretty much such a feared that's such a pretty feared figure, like pretty much across the Sakura cosmos. And now, one one of the hanging questions about this, however, is whether or not this is a power is whether or not this is power that Shiki is going to be able to harness like instantaneously now at like pretty much at will every time he activates his ether gear, and I kind of hope not, only because it already feels like we haven't even see the full extent of this unlocked power yet. So so in general, I think plus in general this is definitely an opportunity for the Starshines in order like I think any kind of exposition any kind of exposition and explanation we're probably going to get on this is probably going to lie with the Starshines. So I think so, and in that sense too, I think this kind of also opens the door in order for the Starshines in order to train Shiki in terms of how to use this power. But like the Starshines we're basically the servants of Ziggy, so it makes sense that the answers we're probably looking for would basically lie with them, and with that knowledge, they could properly train Shiki in how to harness this power more, in order to harness this power again. So yeah, I do like how this is kind of opening up the possibility of basically Shiki going through a little bit of training as well, and and just in general, I just want this new power in order to be from just a first step and not an end result. Like I definitely I like this upgrade and I like this new power, but yeah, I'm just hoping it isn't going to be like he's got the power, and basically now he's gonna, and now he can pretty much use it at basically in any pretty much time he wants. No, I want him to work towards like developing this power now, I guess. And I'm hoping that pretty much Mashima does that. Like he's definitely done a lot of unconventional things with this series, so I'm optimistic he will. But we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, like just the possibilities of this and what the implications are. It's pretty badass. Honestly, it's pretty exciting. Now, I will say I'm a little disappointed that basically Homura never now, like I said, I'm a little disappointed that Homura never like actually jumped into the fight or even got the final shot in on Kurenai. But the ending of this chapter more than made up for it, as we see Kurenai and Homura finally reunited, and damn it, you have no idea how much I wanted the chapter to continue beyond that point. Because just in that one frame of their eyes meeting, you could just see the tension is already on track to boiling over, and I'm more curious. And right now, I'm very curious about the in between aspect of this confrontation and how the inevitable argument in itself is going to play out. Because in some respects, I have an idea how this might end. But again, at the same time, Mashima has also proven he basically is basically willing to go in basically a lot more unconventional routes when it comes to writing Eden Zero, and when you compare Eden Zero to a lot of his other work. So maybe that's so. I assume that's pretty much how that's the case for how this reunion will play out. But yeah, like the way I see it, this reunion, it could end in one of two ways. Either pretty much Homura pretty much embraces, either Homura pretty much forgives her mother completely, or there's too much bad blood and she basically abandons her mother and says, I'm done with you. Those are really the two scenarios I see happening here. But yeah, and the route of Homura basically and the route of Homer basically saying like, I don't recognize you as my mother. I think that would be I think that probably is probably the more likely one. But yeah, we'll have to wait. That is like that's the kind of unconventional route I was talking about. And considering the narrative so far, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he does. But yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see what route he pretty much takes this confrontation, and either way, I'm excited to see just from how this conversation is going to go down for sure. Also, the thing about this chapter that definitely feels like the thing about this chapter is that as I said, like pretty much Kurenai and her forces are all defeated, but in everything feels like everything now. It feels like a little too much like a premature celebration, because even though Kurenai and her forces are defeated, and Sun Jewel has definitely reason to be happy about this. How much how much do you want to bet that the next chapter, like, shit is gonna hit the fan all over again in the form of whatever the hell Drakken Joe's been up to? I mean, like Mashima, he's kind of kept what Drakken Joe's been up to up on the back burner, and it's more than likely. It's been more than likely for this specific pretty much for this specific moment where Sun Jewel is basically freed. It is freed from Kurenai's rule and whatnot. But yeah, like Drakken Joe, next chapter I can already see like from Drakken Joe like pretty much bombing the place in some way, and in that situation, I'll be honest. I better get an entire chapter dedicated to showing us how the battle between Drakken Joe and the Starshines went, because I think it's more than obvious. Like it was already built up that basically that Drakken Joe's goal, that the last time we saw him, Drakken Joe's goal was basically in order to gain control of the Eden Zero. But if we just cut to him like controlling the Eden Zero ship, I seriously want. It's in that point where I seriously want I want to see everything that pretty much led up to that, and I can't lie. I'm gonna rage a little if we pretty much don't get to see from how the confrontation between Drakken Joe and the Starshines went, because that right now that's it's been on the back burner. It's been on the back burner for me, but it's ever since I saw that panel of Drakken Joe from targeting the Eden Zero and targeting the Eden Zero, I was like, okay, I want to see a battle between the Drakken Joe and the Starshines. Like that is like a must that Mashimo must do for me. It's a personal wish, and I don't know if he's actually going to do it, but we'll just have to wait and see, I suppose. And the other thing I will say is that even though one thing I will say too about this chapter is that even though Shiki defeated Kurenai, it's basically kind of cool how basically Nino was the one who really saved everyone in the end and decided that being Kurenai's lackey isn't basically worth all the death and destruction that she's basically doing, and decided and in the end he decided to take the high road, which is basically to just end everything. I will say that the only thing I will say I'm kind of truly disappointed about is we never really got the confirmation in this chapter of whether or not Garrett is dead or if he's still alive. I suppose for now we should just assume he is dead, but yeah, I wanted to kind of know what the whole deal with. I still want to know what the whole deal with that was, and maybe we'll basically learn about it next chapter. But yeah, I want to know if he's still dead or alive for sure. Only just so only for the confirmation's sake of it. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and unless you're for all. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.